I failed a 30-second test, and it's going to change my entire comeback plan. I want to tell you about a test I failed this week. It wasn't a race, and it wasn't an MAF test, not even a run. It was literally a wall sit. My chiropractor and my physio asked me to sit against the wall, back flat, knees at 90 degrees, like I'm sitting in an invisible chair, and I needed to hold it for like 30 seconds. I made it to about 10 seconds, and my legs were shaking, I was sweating, my quads had nothing left, and my chiropractor and physio looked at me and said, "You know, David, this is why your knee keeps giving you trouble. You're not strong enough to support the running and walking that you're trying to do." Honestly, it was hard to hear, but it was the honest thing that she could tell me. And it's changed my thinking about how I'm approaching this comeback. In this video, I want to walk you through the full plan, the strength work that I need to do, and why it matters specifically for runners who are over 50. Now, I'm going to tie it all together with MAF walking and nutrition and what the return to running actually looks like from here. This is the complete comeback. This is my plan. So let's get into it, I guess. So let me give you a full picture of what my physio and my chiropractor actually revealed. I went in with my knee issue. It was like 3 months ago. Meniscus strain. It's been giving me trouble for months. I even had KT tape on it. I've had laser surgery. I've had acupuncture. And I've been doing what I thought was enough to literally manage it. But when she put me through some basic movement tests, it became really clear that the knee wasn't the only problem. The knee is literally the symptom of the problem, right? The weakness underneath it is the cause. The wall test told part of the story, right? I should be able to do 30 seconds at a 90 degrees. I lasted 10 seconds, and that's not small. That's significant quad weakness. And it's been leaving my knee unsupported every time I run, walk downhill, even come down a flight of stairs. Even when I'm driving, I'm putting pressure on it. And the research is clear on this, right? Strong quads are responsible for extending the knee and the stabilization of the kneecap. And literally, they are for shock absorption activities like running, right? Walking and jumping. And when those muscles aren't strong enough to do the job, the knee takes the full load instead, right? The wear, the tear, the strain, the pain. It's been patterns for like over the last number of years. And here's the part, I don't even want to say out loud, but I thought I was invincible. I ran a 50-mile ultra. I did 100-kilometer training weeks. I figured running was enough, that the strength side was literally optional for a long time. And it isn't. And I'm paying for that thinking right now. But the good news is that it's fixable. The exercises my physio gave me are simple, right? I can do them at home. And the research behind each one of them is solid, right? So I'm going to walk you through all of them. And again, maybe not all, but some of them. Here are the 4 exercises that are now part of my daily routine. And I want to explain what each of them are, but why each one matters specifically for runners. Exercise 1 is the wall sit. This is the test that I failed in my brain anyways, which means it is also the starting point for rebuilding, right? Back flat against the wall, feet and shoulders width apart, and roughly about 1.5 feet from the wall. Slide down until your knees are at a 90 degree, thighs are parallel to the floor. And now hold. Set your timer, right? 30 seconds or count, right? Research shows that wall sits can increase the quadricep strength by up to 20% in just a few weeks. And that is critical for my situation, right? They strengthen the quads without putting pressure on the knee, right? Without putting pressure on the knee joint, the way a squat or a lunge would. It's called isometric contraction. Your muscles are working hard under tension without the joint moving. Research shows also that isometric holds can trigger an elastic effect, essentially turning down the pain signals coming from the knee. So this isn't just building strength, it's actively helping with pain management at the same time. My starting point is 10 seconds, 3 sets every day. The goal, 30 seconds, and then 45, and then a minute. Slow and progressive exercise. Number 2 is glute bridges. Lie on your back, knees bent, feet flat on the floor. Drive your knees into the ground and lift your hips until your body forms a straight line from your knees to your shoulders. And now hold at the top and then lower slowly. Strong glutes give you a stronger stride and protect your lower back. And for runners, specifically, this is a good thing. Your glutes are your primary power, right? That's where everything comes from. When they're weak, your smaller muscles, such as your calves, your IT band, and the structures around your knee compensate. And those smaller muscles weren't designed to carry the load. Glute bridges are how you give back power to the right muscles, so the wrong ones stop being overloaded, which is happening to me right now, right? So 2 to 3 sets of 15 repetitions. Focus on squeezing at the top of each rep. Exercise number 3 is dead bug, and this one unfortunately has a kind of a crummy name, but it's one that is most effective in core exercises that you can do. And Harvard Medical School backs that up. So lie on your back, arms straight up towards the ceiling, knees bent at 90 degrees, shins parallel to the floor like you're sitting in a chair lying down. Press your lower back into the floor and keep it there. Slowly lower your right arm and lift your leg towards the floor, simultaneously keeping your lower back pressed down, right, the entire time. Bring them back, switch sides. That's 1 rep. The dead bug teaches your core to stabilize while your arms and legs move, which is exactly what happens every single stride when you run. That's why it's so important. I'm talking to me. Anyways, critical research shows that dead bug style anti-extension protocols reduce lower back pain by approximately 30 to 40% after 8 weeks of consistent practice. The key is keeping your lower back pressed into the floor throughout, right? The moment it lifts, you've lost the benefit and you're loading your spine instead of training your core. 2 sets of 10 repetitions each stride to start. Exercise 4 is planks. You know, it's the classic. Look, it's the classic one, right? But done properly, not the sagging in the middle version that most people do, including me. Forearms are on the ground, elbows under your shoulders, body in a straight line from head to heels. Core braced. Think about pulling your belly button gently towards your spine, right? Your glutes are engaged and you got to remember to breathe. Planks target multiple muscle groups simultaneously, right? And they traverse the abdomen, obliques, and glutes, improving core stability, spinal health, and posture. For runners, core stability directly affects running economy, right? A strong, stable core, which I don't have right now, means less wasted energy in rotation and lateral movement. More of your effort goes forward into actual propulsion. So start with 20 seconds, build to 60. 3 sets. These 4 exercise, wall sit, glute bridge, dead bug, and plank done consistently every single day, literally are going to be my foundation right now. Look, it's not like the thing I want to do, right? It's not, the Instagram highlight reel that, it's just the work that needs to happen before running can be part of my routine again. Now, section number 3 is my MAF Walking Plan, right? Now, let me connect this to the MAF side of things, because this is where I think this is where it all kind of comes together. You know, I know while the strength work is being built, okay, while my quads and glutes and core are all being developed to actively support running properly, I'm walking right now. I'm going to try every day, right? But there's a purpose to it. Not casually walking, but MAF walking, the same principle that governs my running, governs the walking. Heart rate under my MAF ceiling, 180 minus my age, right? Adjusted for my current condition. That means I'm generally aerobic, even at walking pace, building the base, burning fat as the fuel, losing the weight, keeping the aerobic engine ticking over while everything else heals and strengthens. Look, there's a lot of you out there, a lot of runners that dismiss walking as not enough. I used to be one of them, right? And a couple of people on my channel have even mentioned it. But here's what I've learned. At 143 beats per minute walking on the Bruce Trail, which I recorded recently, my body doesn't know the difference between walking and running in terms of aerobic stimulus. It knows it needs to pump harder, right? The fat burning process, right? The base building benefits of staying in that aerobic zone apply whether you are running or walking, right? The plan is simple. Daily walks. I'm going to start, well, I'm already doing an hour, but if I'm going to start doing it every day, it may have to start at like 30 minutes to 45 minutes. But I'm going to stay under my MAF ceiling. And I'm going to take note on how the knee responds. Now, as the knee improves and the strength work starts slowly building results, the walks get longer. And then it becomes a walk-jog interval. Then gradually with the knee telling me if it's ready rather than my calendar, telling me that running needs to return. Look, there's no timeline, right? There's no deadline. It's just the next step in my running comeback, in my running journey. Now, this needs to be spoken about, needs to be talked about, okay? I have to talk about nutrition because the piece I've been getting wrong for months, if not years, what my physio, my nutritionist, and who is a Canadian Olympian, by the way, asked me straight up whether I was taking electrolytes. I wasn't, so I corrected that, because I hadn't been paying attention to my food quality in any meaningful way during my injury period, okay? Now, talking the talk, but not walking the walk, that's what I said to the camera out loud on the trail. And it's true. So here's what I'm putting back in place. Electrolytes, sodium, potassium, magnesium, calcium, right? These matter for muscle function, right? Including quads, glutes, strength work I'm doing now, okay, that I've incorporated back. Right? Muscle cramps, spasms, fatigue. Look, a lot of it traces back to electrolyte depletion, right? We're in the middle of summer, right? I've been ignoring this and my body has been telling me, but I haven't been listening. So protein, as a vegetarian runner, rebuilding muscle through strength training, protein is like, that's a non-negotiable, guys. I kind of forget this sometimes, but anyways, I'm taking it to heart. You can call me out in the comments all you want. But anyways, it's more of a vegetarian approach. Some of you may not like it, but it is what it is for me. Now, there is clear research that plant-based protein supports muscle repair and sensitiveness effectively, but the sources really do matter. And I'm focusing on lentils, chickpeas, tofu, edamame, tempeh, right? Higher lectin content, better muscle signaling, vitamins back on B12, vitamin D, iron paired with vitamin C, and the absorption, right? The algae, the omega-3s, inflammation management. These aren't optional for a vegetarian runner. They are the foundation. And one big one I need to fix is cutting the bread and the baked goods that crept back in during my hard months, right? Swapping them for sweet potatoes, oats, brown rice, lentils, like real food, real nutrition, rather than comfort carbohydrates that spike my blood sugar. and they contribute to the weight that I'm carrying right now, and I'm so sick and tired of talking about it. 230 pounds is my honest starting point, okay? Nutrition done properly is how that number moves, how that number on the scale goes down. So when does the running come back? Good question. When the body says so. Not when the calendar says so, not when I've been off long enough that I think I should be ready. When the body actually signals readiness. And here's what I'm watching for. The wall sits are for 30 seconds consistently. That's a meaningful milestone to me. It means that the quad strength supporting my knee is getting to where it needs to be. The walking comfortable and literally controlled, no knee awareness after or before, right? Heart rate responding, particularly in my MAF zone. The strength training exercises that are progressing, more reps, longer holds, better form week by week. When those three things are all moving in the right direction, then I'll introduce short walk jog intervals. 5 minutes of maybe easy running, like easy jogging within a longer walk. And again, my heart rate staying under my MAF ceiling, right? The knee is going to be monitored very closely. And if it holds up, and if I'm able to build gradually from there, look, there's going to be no 10 kilometers in the first week. Then I'm back, right? There's going to be, that's the mistake I made in 2021 after my ultra. I came back too fast and spending 6 months paying for it. I'm not doing that again. Well, actually I am kind of right at the moment. The strength base needs to be there before running is going to start loading it. That's the whole lesson from that wall sit test. Build the foundation, then build the house on top of it. It's so frustrating when I don't pay attention, but it is what it is. And when I'm not wearing any more KT tape on my knee, that's going to be a sign, right? So that's going to be my complete comeback plan, right? 4 strength exercises daily, right? Wall sit, glute, bridge, dead bug, plank, MAF walking every day with heart rate under my ceiling. Nutrition is going to be cleaned up and going to be proper electrolytes, proteins, vitamin Ds, all that kind of stuff. You know, the junk food has already been cut out, and I got to be patient. Body, it's going to be body leg return to running, right? That's when the strength work says I am ready. It's not glamorous, guys. It is what it is. It's not going to be a crazy comeback story, at least not yet, but it is honestly where I am, right? And that's what this channel has been about. If you are dealing with your own version of this, coming back from an injury, realizing that your strength work has been neglected, starting to rebuild from wherever your current situation is, drop it in the comments. I want to know where you are and what you're working through, what you're working on. And if you want to understand the MAF walking approach I am in right now, look, how heart rate training applies even when you're not running, I got a complete guide right here, link below. 1 wall sit at a time. Like I always say, get out and run.